Alright, so I wanted to explain how to get your DB9 up onto jack stands if you're going to do some more major service like that requires you to take off the under tray, etc., where you're going to be under the car and you need more clearance. Um, the Aston Martin manual talks about just 2 jacking points per side, and that you can't jack anywhere else under the car. And if you've just got a simple garage floor jack like I have, it kind of leaves you with a conundrum. How do you get the point jacked up if the jack stands are supposed to be only placed where the jacking point is? So I've had to kind of come up with my own way to get this done. Of course, the correct way to do it is have a giant four-point hoist in your garage to be able to pull it all off. But unfortunately, I'm not so equipped. So here's how we're going to do it with a traditional floor jack. Alright, so I just have a simple 2-ton hydraulic jack, and underneath the car, at where the jacking point is, you can see it here. This is the traditional jacking point, but this is where I need to put my jack stand. So while I'm going to get the car jacked up, I have to put my jack someplace. And they say only jack from here, but if you actually look at this solid, this is a box beam, and there's some plastic that starts to cover it. And if I just pan back a little bit, you'll see where I put some blue painter's tape, right sort of between this fascia screw and another fascia screw that's here. So under this piece of plastic is the exact same box beam, and it's continuous all the way to the rear jacking point. So what I've done is I've actually marked out with the blue tape, also to stop me from scuffing the plastic, where I want to actually get my jacking point. And then out here, I've actually cut a piece of wood. It's approximately 6 inches long, and I'm going to sit that on my jack, and that's going to be my, and I'm going to put this up against the plastic. And because I'm going to be between the 2 screws that I was pointing out here, I'm basically going to have the wood only touching where the blue tape is. That's entirely on the solid box beam, and that's going to give me the opportunity to jack the car up without any problems. Okay, so I have my wood placed on top of my jack, and I'm going to carefully slide it in. It just barely clears. I'm bringing it underneath and just carefully aligning it. I'm going to bring it up a little closer now to the bodywork. And I want to make it fit as nicely as I can. There we go. I'm just ahead of that screw there. So now I'm clear and I can start to jack. So my wood block is positioned under my jacking point, and now I'm going to start to jack the car up. I'm going to have a quick check underneath. Yeah, perfect, right on my jacking point there. Notice the rear is already off the ground, as well as the fronts, but I want to raise the car up as high as I can here. It's starting to get pretty good. I have a pair of fairly standard jack stands, and I'm going to get this under the rear jack point right there. And watch that as it comes down. And And since I've used my alternate jacking point, I can get at my proper jack position. You want to make sure that we don't have the body come down on any of the plastic. And I have my jack stand set about 14 inches off the ground. Now I'm going to very carefully lower the car down, slowly. I'm just going to check the positioning. Yeah, right on. Looking good for the front. The back's already making contact. Touchdown. Just gonna make one last check. Yeah. And all on metal, not on plastic. So that's it. And I can drop my jack out. Now I just need to do the same thing to the other side and I'm done.